We acknowledge the First Nations peoples of this land, the traditional custodians, and pay our respects to the elders past, present, and future. We recognise the ongoing impacts of colonisation and the importance of a voice to Parliament to ensure the sovereignty and self-determination of First Nation peoples is respected and upheld. We commit to working together towards a just and equitable future for all Australians.
Hi, I'm Keely, and it's Tuesday. No, it's not. It's Wednesday, the 17th of May, 2023.
And I'm Wentz.
And you're listening to The New Blurt.
I can't take it anymore.
Good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good morning, Blurtstars, wherever you are around the world. You are listening to the New Blurt.
Well, they say that practice makes perfect, Wency, and we did actually practice the start of this show, and so I perfected making sure that I said it was Tuesday. So
Exactly. Old habits die hard.
They do die very hard. But before we go any further with the show tonight, I would just like to say, tonight I'm coming to you from Wurundjeri country, Kulin nation of the Woiwurrung people. Sovereignty was never ceded, always has been, and always will be Aboriginal land.
And I respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I live and work, the Yagara and Turrbal peoples here in Brisbane. Sovereignty was never ceded.
Beautiful, lovely, awesome to see you, Wency. We've got heaps on tonight, so we need to crack on with the show. We're going to talk about beavers saving climate change. That'll be a good little conversation. And we're also going to talk about El Niño. What is it? Should we get it? Do we need one? And are they contagious? And the other thing is we're going to also talk about Sleepy Joe, as it says in our title there, Sleepy Joe Biden. That is, it's not really nice to call him Sleepy Joe, but he is 80, so he probably likes a lot of sleep. So no, I do. Yeah. But anyway, absolutely. He's snubbing Australia to raise the debt ceiling. We'll have a little chat about that. But the other main segments tonight are Beerducation, where I'll be talking about Deeds XPA, where one of our very fellow colleagues of the Deeds persuasion is actually at that brewer as we speak right now, enjoying. So we should try to cross to him live, but I'm not really sure how you do that. But it'd be interesting if he's still there. I don't know if he is. Yeah. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. And we will also do Listen to This tonight. We haven't done Listen to This for a long time, mainly because of copyright issues with us trying to talk about bands, etc. But I do have some
copyrights.
Really excellent news on that when we get to listen to this tonight. And tonight we're going to talk about Eurovision. And we'll talk about, did we watch it? Was it fun? Who in your house? Did you have a party? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But before we go any further, I don't need to do anything right yet at the moment. I thought I did, but I don't. So I believe you've got some show and tell, aka homework from last week. I'll need to get a homework sting, I think.
Yeah, I might have to. It'd be interesting to see what you come up with. Maybe a bit of Pink Floyd. Hey, teacher, we don't.
Oh, nice. Yes. Okay. All right. Lovely.
There's an idea. Live.
That's homework for me.
Homework for you to make the homework sting. There we go.
That's right. Exactly right.
All right. So homework. My homework from last week was we were talking about lifeblood, and I mentioned that I cannot donate blood.
Yes, you did.
And the reason, and I spoke to my sister because she actually worked for for a company that does the extraction of the blood. So when you go and take your blood out, she works in the back room where she takes the bags full of blood, gets them out of the machine or whatever they do, pack them up, put the labels on, etc. So she worked there. So we had a chat over this last week.
Just anyone listening to the program, what Wency's described there sounds not very sterile, but I can assure you that it is a very sterile environment.
Sure.
Indeed. And when you do give blood, someone else pulls it out of your arm. You don't have to do it yourself. So, just remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we talked about it. And the reason why I can't donate blood is because I was born and lived in Chile.
Yes, you
for
just said
a
that.
period of time. And the reason is because there's a parasite and it can potentially give you Chagas disease. And
I thought that was a vegetable.
So it's a little parasite, and I'm just going to give you a little show and tell of what it looks like. So that's the parasite. So a bit bigger than a ladybug, I guess. And so there's potential that, like a mosquito, like other bugs, it can bite you and then drop some feces on you.
Nice.
And if you rub that feces into your skin or broken skin, it can give you this Chagas disease. And it affects many millions of Latin Americans predominantly. So one of the symptoms is you get this,
Jesus
where
Christ.
it's as if you've had a black eye and you get swelling in the eye, or it could be wherever it is that you've rubbed that location where it bit you.
Does it go down?
I think it eventually does. It can be treated. It doesn't.
God.
Yeah, so it's pretty chronic.
It's pretty chronic. She would be, or is that? I don't know if it's a he or she.
Don't know.
Would be basically legally blind looking at that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty terrible. But I've got to say also, it's not nice when anything shits on you at all. It doesn't really matter how small it is.
No.
So
exactly.
You don't want to be rubbing anyone's feces into yourself. That's not a good idea.
Yeah. So even though I've never suffered that, I can't donate blood because it's not screened here in Australia. And so I'll continue on with the show, or with the slideshow, I mean. So there's from the CDC in America, there's the plastic infects you and things like that. But the reason why you can donate plasma if you do have Chagas disease is because it's not part of the bloodstream. So what I didn't realize was plasma is actually separate from the blood. And so I always thought that they took the plasma out of the red blood cells somehow.
Yeah.
But it's
so did I, yeah.
Yeah. So basically it's the red blood cells that float in the plasma. So when you go to the blood bank or life blood, they take all your blood out, but then they just return the red blood cells, platelets, and the white blood cells, and just leave the plasma behind.
Oh wow, that's
because the Chagas disease does not affect plasma, then that's why I can donate plasma. So so that was my homework.
Well, I reckon that's pretty good, very, very good actually, and it's just in time for this, and then this.
Oh, you might need to put your stream back on. Hang on a sec.
Search Give Blood and book your donation with Australian Red Cross Lifeblood today. Give life. Give blood.
Or plasma.
When you listen, yes, or plasma, exactly right. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure live how much came through then, because we just had a couple of removing and putting things in place, etc., etc. But that's fine. If you're listening to it on the pod, you probably won't have
perfect.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't go that far, but it'll be all right. It'll be okay. It'll be listenable. It'll be fine. It'll be good. Actually, talking about listenable, look, just that's awesome, by the way. Brilliant, brilliant work on your homework. And I think we need a little bit of this. Yeah, that was well done. That was very well done.
Thank you.
Something else that's pretty well done is Happy Ida Hobbit Day to you, Wency.
Yes, happy Ida Hobbit to you. I've got my badges. I don't know if you can see that. Got
No,
one here
we
that
cannot.
says "Proud Parent"
Oh, nice.
with the trans flag, the rainbow flag, and a bunch of other flags, and the ally flag.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. So, in case you've been living in a cave for a while, Ida Hobbit is International Day of Homophobic and Bisexual, Intersex, and Transgender, I believe. I think that's correct.
That's right. I did have something here to read out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you were right. International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. It's 17th of May is a special day for the LGBTQIA plus community, as it was on this date in 1990 that the WHO, World Health Organization, removed homosexuality from being classified as a disease. Can you believe that?
Oh, my God. No. Yes, I can. That's disgraceful.
Just the way it was, wasn't it? Which has been corrected. Thank goodness for that.
You know what, though? 1990, the UN might have done that, but in 1996, it was still illegal in Tasmania.
I know. That's terrible, isn't it? But didn't that get changed in 1999?
7.
So it was 97. Okay.
Yeah, 1997. Right. But I've got to say, ever since then, they have basically been about face and been like one of the sort of most rainbow pride sort of states in Australia now, really. I mean, so many things that they're doing are pro, transgender rights and, as I say, against homophobia and all that sort of stuff. A classic example of that was when that woman from England went to, and she was a feminist apparently, which many feminists are very upset about her sort of using that title because she's so against transgender.
Yeah.
And just had this really sort of evilness about it. Anyway, the people in Hobart just basically pushed her out of the state. And Tasmania, New Zealand did a really good job too. They went there and I think in Auckland they started throwing things.
Good. So that's exactly what she deserves.
Yeah, totally agree. I apologise. Have you got more on that? Once you go for it, if you do.
No. That's all I wanted to say. That yes, just be aware. Don't just wear rainbow colours on this day. Just think about being free and open. Don't have a closed mindset about anyone in the transgender or gay community. They're no different to us. That's how they identify. So don't use that against them and just be accepting.
Yeah, look, absolutely. We've got a little a bit for Ida Hobbit Day. Do you want me to play that?
Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, my friend, hold on. I will do so. I'll just change the screen. If it works. It's live. There's a good chance it won't. Because
it'll be smoothless in the podcast, of course.
Yes, of course. This bit I didn't download, so it might just shit itself completely. It looks like it's going to.
I love the spinning wheel of circle
shit itself completely.
Life, whatever it is. Yeah.
But
it looks like it's from the -18.org website.
Yes, that's yeah, absolutely. We'll have that in the show notes anyway. It's a very good little Ida Hobbit Day YouTube that I highly recommend that you do listen to. One thing I did want to talk about though, a couple of pretty interesting things. One is that on this show a while ago we talked about PFAS, which was
excuse you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a contamination from firefighting foam at 7 sites across the country, but residents are calling the amount atrocious. So We did talk about this on the show, and the Commonwealth will pay out about 132.7 million to about 30,000 claimants.
Doesn't sound like much.
No, well, I haven't done the maths on that. If you want to do the maths on that, well, I read out a little bit of stuff here. The claim alleged land owners. Sorry, what was that? Landowners at the sites were exposed to poisonous chemicals.
What were the numbers again?
Firefighting foam. Oh, 30,000. Put that into 132.7 million.
I think that's about $4,500.
No, it's not much, is it? Jesus, that's really not a lot.
Anyway,
for the Commonwealth over historic contaminations of regional towns, the settlement follows a 212 million PFAS payout for property value loss and distress in Catherine Oakey and Williamtown. Catherine Oakey and Williamtown. Sorry, they're three towns. I apologise. PFAS is a broad name for 4,700 heat-resistant chemicals that were found to be toxic in groundwater near Air Force bases. Now, as I say, we've talked about this before. So 132.7 million, it's not a lot, but it's probably a shizen load more than the other lot was going to pay out, which I think would have been a duck egg, basically.
Pretty much.
So it's, it's something, but not as much as we would like, which I think seems to be the theme at the moment. Something, but not as much as we would like. So
a bit like the budget. Last week.
Absolutely. But there are some things that we did talk about in the budget that aren't actually coming in until September. So there are some good things there with rent assistance, and I think there's some really good stuff on childcare as well, which should help out quite a few people from that perspective. But I mean, the fact is that, obviously, I'm not going to go on this very long, but the fact is that you've got the opposition obviously sniping from the side as usual. We should be, because I heard some of the Liberal Party people on before the budget, they were like, we've got to be raising job seekers not high enough, etc., etc. But as soon as you nail them, as soon as you 100% nail them and said, well, if you were in, would you raise it? They changed the subject in about 2 seconds. And,
bright shiny object. What did you do for 9 years? Quit FA.
Yeah, it's pretty much 100% true. And I think the more and more I listen to people, I think they're a little bit disappointed because they wanted a bit more from the government they've got at the moment. But there is no doubt in my mind in any way, shape or form that they want to have the other mob in any hurry.
Yeah.
So
I guess the advantage we've got at the moment is we've got very low unemployment rates. So like the federal government have mentioned over the past week or two, their focus is trying to get people off job seeker into work, which would get them out of the poverty. So if they're successful in that, then I think people will probably forget that they didn't raise it by much. So hopefully we'll see what happens in 12 months or more.
Yeah, look, absolutely, and hopefully by then inflation's gone down a little bit as well.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I did want to say was congratulations to Sam Kerr, who plays for the Chelsea women's premiership team, soccer premiership team.
What has she done?
They won the FA Cup, and I believe that she was one of the stalwarts, one of the winning goals, etc.
Awesome.
So absolutely. So she's basically, I think, named as one of the best women players in the world now. It's totally recognised. Yeah. So, and I know also that they're trying to get. I'm not 100% sure if it's the. No, it won't be, because FIFA will never come here. So it'll be the world. It'll be the World Women Soccer League. Because I don't think that's run by FIFA, but I'm not sure.
It would be. If it's soccer, it would have to be run by FIFA.
Okay. Well, they're trying to get the World Cup for women in Australia, I believe.
Yeah, maybe we should cover that in our sports segment in the near future.
We will. We might do a sports of all sorts on that, I think. And There's a friend of mine too. He's a bit of a podcast sort of junkie. So we might be able to see if we can get him on too.
Awesome.
He's quite a bit younger than us, but he knows quite a bit when it comes to sports. So it'll be interesting. And he follows soccer and those sort of things. So I'll have a chat, and not like us. So I'll
Footy, yes.
Yes.
Soccer,
exactly right.
not so much.
Forgot to say go Pies. But anyway,
yes, number one Pies.
Yes, number one with the board. Anyway, talk about number one segment of Wency's. So let's exactly. So the Wentzmeister, do you want to go first or?
Sure can.
All right, my friends, let's rock it on.
Let's just share our usual
tasting
review sheet. Tasting sheet, that's what it is.
That's
all right,
the word.
Folks, this month, we do it monthly, I think.
Pretty much, I think, yeah.
I think so, once a month. Could be every week, but we shouldn't. But once a month is fine. I'm reviewing 5 Barrel Brewing, and it's.
I thought you were going to say 5 beers.
5 beers. Oh, maybe that'll be next month. I don't know if you can see that clearly.
Yes,
Navigator,
I can. 5 Barrel Brewing. Yes, Navigator. And where?
Navigator Red
what state's
IPA.
that from? What state's that from?
That is from Wollongong, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
yes, it is.
Yes, that's New South Wales, isn't it? Yes, it is. That's
New South Wales.
Yeah.
So
nice. The gong. Nice.
The gong. So, tell you quickly a little bit about it before I crack it open.
Nice.
Darker, and this is straight from their website. So darker doesn't always mean stronger. Red IPAs usually carry a maltiness that you don't find with paler styles. The malt character can range from a light caramel to full-on rich toffee and toast. This one has a wonderful fruit, pine, and spice balance that develops on the palate. It's got a firm bitterness, but the caramel sweetness rounds it out to ensure your senses aren't overwhelmed. It's 6.5% ABV of alcohol.
Ooh, you want too many of those babies?
It depends on the reason why you're drinking. It's 1.2 standard drinks in the can.
Yes.
IBU 50, which is not too bitter. So that's the bitterness scale.
Yeah.
Uses
you know what we're going to have to do with the bitterness scale? What we're going to have to do is we have to rename that the Abbott scale. And like when it's really bitter, it's like, nearly Abbott. And then when it's up the other end, it'll have to be like
Albanese.
Well, if you like, but maybe someone who would be better than that. Bob Brown, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So is it a bit Bob Brownie? Is it a bit Abbotty? And
okay. All right. So okay, enough talking.
Yes, more drinking. More drink. All right, my friend.
All right.
On. Let's go.
Rock and roll. Where's my glass? There's the can.
Appearance is transparent. All right. Okay, we're good now.
No. It's coming. It's a coming.
It's a coming.
Oh, geez, that's really dark.
It is, isn't it? And what is it? Dark ale or what was it? What you say?
No, it's a red IPA, but it's a bit on the darker side. It's quite brown.
It does look dark. No, it does. Yep. It does.
All right. Appearance. I do like the color. It's very caramelly, almost like a light toffee colored, or dark
beautiful.
toffee, I mean.
Yep.
So quite nice.
Yes.
So appearance, I give it a 9. It's quite nice color for an amber.
Nice. It is, it is quite nice. Yep.
So smell. Can definitely taste smell a bit of citrusy.
Alt socks.
Yeah, citrus. Not sure what it's meant to be, but
citrus. That's interesting. In a dark ale, citrus.
In a dark ale, yeah. I'll give that an 8.
Okay.
All right, time for the taste.
All righty, let's rock on. Now we're not mucking about.
Not bitter, not overly bitter. There's a bit of bitterness there.
Not overly avid. Okay.
Yeah, so halfway between Abbott and Brown.
It's a bit Aberdown.
Up and down. Definitely a bit chocolatey, toffee chocolate, almost like an eclair.
Okay, wow. So, and it does talk about that too. So,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's interesting.
I would give that a 25.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Aftertaste, I can still taste some of that caramel, and the bitterness is lingering a little bit, which I don't mind.
The Abbottness.
The Abbottness. I'm not opposed to a bit of Abbott in that respect. Not in real life.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not in real life. I give that a 16. Drinkability. Oops. I don't know what happened.
162. Nice.
Oh, I don't know what it said there. 16.
There we go.
There we go. That's better. And drinkability. Oh, God, I'm going to have to taste it again to see if it's drinkable. I give that a 26.
All righty. That's an 84 for you.
Nice.
Yes, you're always on the highs. That looks like that's a very good beer as well.
Mm.
Very, very
Maybe I just
good
like all
beer.
beers and they'll always be high. I don't know.
Yeah. That could be 100% true. That could be 100% true. But now you've done your good deed.
Is that a segue?
I will give you some deeds. So the deeds XBA, I'll tell you what I should have done there. I can't do that, but anyway. The deeds XBA is a laid-back, easy sipper made with 100% Australian pale malt and juicy blend of hops. It's refreshing and tasty tinny. Enjoy each sip with a balanced Abbottness and slightly dry finish. Get into it! That's what it says. Get into it!
Get into it. Get in there. Awesome.
Deeds Brewing is proudly independent and was founded in 2012 by mates Pat and Dave in Melbourne's Inner East. Brewing beers that proves deeds speak louder than words. Now, Deeds is indeed not very far away from me at all. And
where are they?
Exactly where they are. They are 4 Parran Place, P-A-R-A-N, Glen Iris, Victoria. Which is approximately 25-minute drive from my house.
Nice.
And from our colleague, Mick the Ambo, it is basically a 2-minute drive or a 30-minute stumble.
Which could be happening right about now for him.
Well, yes, it could be because he seemed to be partaking in some of the wonders of the Deeds Brewery, which
yes,
I
he
have
was
been
having.
to.
What was he having? A dark lager.
Yes, I believe so. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Midnight
he
Rain.
was. Yeah, Midnight Rain. So I have to try that one time. But I have been there. The brewery is awesome. It's really, really good. Can't remember if we had food there. I don't think we did.
Might have to go there when I'm in Melbourne next month.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. We don't have a lot of time. But yes. So here we go. Where are we?
Here we go.
I'm trying to find the window. There's a window here somewhere. Hey, there it is.
Got there eventually.
Did. Now, the interesting thing about this is that this is an XPA. Look how light that is for an XPA. I know, it's exactly what I was going to say. Look how light that is for an XPA. It's incredibly light for an XPA. And also for an XPA. Sorry. Also, it's not Brick Lane, but there you go.
I've got something to say about Brick Lane in a minute.
Oh, good. Excellent. Brilliant. So yeah, as you can see, lovely color, but very, I agree with you 100%.
It's almost like a
Lager.
Lager or tropical pale ale where they're really light.
I'd agree. I would totally agree with that. It's not like an XPA at all. And the other thing that it's not really XPA-ish is that most of the time XPAs is 6% and over. From my experience, this is only 4.2.
Jeez, they turned off the alcohol tap on that one.
Yeah, I know, and it's interesting because at the brewery they have quite a few that are decent alcohol content. So, so appearance, to be honest, I would probably not give it that much because it's not as I would expect it. So I'll probably maybe give it 6.
6. Oh, interesting. Let's hope it's all uphill from there.
Well, the smell's good. It's a really nice waft, but it doesn't have that thick sort of XPA waft, if you know what I mean. It's very light. It is very light. Well, I'll give it a bit of a taste.
XPAs can also almost be hazy.
Yes, I totally agree, 100%.
Yeah.
So smell,
like
I'd probably give it about 8. I'd give it about 8 for smell.
Okay, well that's decent.
It's a very good beer. It's a really, really nice beer. I'll probably give it 26.
Cool, nice.
Yeah, no, it's a very good beer.
Aftertaste.
Yeah, it's just a tad of Abbott.
Mm-hmm.
But you're able to smack that Abbottness out quite quickly, which is nice.
Oh, that's good. That's really important. Got to smack that. I was going to say something, but I thought I'd better not. It reminds. It rhymes with rich.
I have a feeling, but I'm not going to say it at the moment either. But I'm thinking you're thinking ditch or something. But
yeah, exactly.
That's what I was thinking. Now, aftertaste, very good. As I say, a bit of Abbottness back there. Pretty good. I'll say 17. Pretty good.
17, nice.
Drinkability is like really high. You could easily see yourself drinking very, very responsibly a couple of these.
It's only 4.5%, so I can understand that.
Yeah, definitely. So it's definitely in the 20s. Probably 26. 26 maybe.
All right, you're the maths boy.
81, I think. No, 83 actually. I think it's 83.
Right. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Wow. So you win again, but we're really close this time.
Really close this week, yeah. Last time there's a bit of a difference, but
that's
still only 6 points. But
yeah. No, Mickey's on the money there. Deeds XPA, people, go out and get it. And what was yours, Wency?
Oh, excuse me. Mine was the 5 Barrels Brewing Navigator Red IPA. Do yourself a favor and go grab yourself a carton. If you
can say keg.
Or a growler.
Yes, we've got to be careful when you do that. You might get told off. But anyway,
some good beers there.
It was awesome. That was really, really nice. And something else that's pretty awesome, we will be back to listen to.
Oh, we need to add the sound back to the stream. It always does this.
Real teeth. We change minds. To donate, head on over to australiainstitute.org.au.
It's very simple. Stop what you're doing and listen to this.
Yes, listen to the screaming sheep. He knows what he's talking about. So Eurovision. Did you end up watching it?
No, I did not get a chance to watch it this year. I was too busy.
Yes.
Banners.
Oh, that's fine. That's great. So look, I I knew it was on, and I tend to do this every year. I know it's on. I know it's on SBS, but for whatever reason, I always always end up missing it. And then afterwards, I try to find out who won and all the rest of it. But it is a really big deal, and it seems to be getting bigger, which is interesting because apparently SBS don't have the contract for Eurovision next year yet.
Oh no! I hope they don't lose it.
Apparently. Yeah, well, I absolutely do as well. I mean, I think Australia came 9th in this one.
Yeah. They got as high as 5, I think, at one point in the early rounds.
Yes, I think that's right. They were called Voyager. I don't actually have any of them at the moment, which is a little bit of a shame. But what I do have is the winner from Sweden. And it'll be interesting what you think of this, because it'll be interesting what you think of this.
Okay.
So I will do a little bit of shifty, and we hopefully maybe this may work. We'll just see how we go.
I'm going to channel some ABBA. Let's see.
Yeah. That, not right here. Yeah, look, not my cup of tea at all. I mean, I'm never a big fan of people with long fingernails anyway. It scares me. I'm not. It doesn't make me warm to the individual very much at all. And I'm not particularly enamored with the outfit that looks like she's basically been rolling in mud. I'm not sure what the idea is here. I can't quite work it out. And I really don't like it. I don't like the song, and I think it's terrible. And it won. So what do I know? Can you hear that?
Not much at all by the looks of it. I can.
No. But you don't want to. That's what you're telling me.
Not my cup of tea either.
Nah, I can't. Yeah, nah. So, yeah, dancing above a ceiling, and then, you know, as I say, those nails, Indy gets her nails done, and I can't handle that. I mean, seriously, I know it's a me thing. I need to get over it. I understand. But a lot of people tend to enjoy what she's doing. But I am not one of those. So
maybe she likes Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, yes, maybe.
Maybe she loved it when she was a kid. She grew up with it, maybe.
Maybe that was what she modeled herself on. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure. But no.
That's not the first time she's won it, is it?
Really?
She's won it twice. She won it, I think it was 2012, if anyone out there can correct me if I'm wrong, but she's the first female artist
to win twice.
And
Jesus, who voted for her the first time, let alone the second time? Are you kidding me? Oh my God,
maybe she had shorter nails back then and it took her 10 years to grow that long. I don't know.
I tell you what, I didn't see her feet, but I don't want to see her feet. Seriously, that was just terrible.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see that. No, I've seen Guinness Book of Records with people with long toenails. No thanks.
It's not. No, I totally agree. I totally 100% agree. I do have some really good news though. We went to the Jazz Lab, which is probably only about 10 minutes from my house, which we're very lucky about because the Jazz Lab has international artists that play all over the world, which obviously they would because that's usually what international means. But anyway, their standard is absolutely world-class. They're really, really good. And we went and saw this girl that I highly recommend every listener to this show go and find, and I'm going to put it in the show notes anyway, Rita Satch, Ritasatch is the surname, Rita Satch. And she's sort of a cross between sort of Amy Winehouse and Ella Fitzgerald and sort of Billie Holiday, all those sort of really big voices, but with a really grungy sort of low range as well, and an amazing high range. And we were just really, really lucky. She's quite young, and she's basically trying to get a sort of name internationally, you know, from a commercial perspective.
Nice.
And I don't believe that she's had an album released yet.
So probably EPs.
Yes, definitely EPs. And we, as I said, we were very lucky to see her at the Jazz Lab, and I highly recommend that if she does come to Brisbane, etc., that you do check her out, or wherever you are in the world, because she does get around. In that she's been in England, she's played at Glastonbury, she's played through Europe. I think she's played in America. I'm pretty damn sure she has. In fact, I know she has. And yeah, I think she's played around the States of Australia as well. So she's played at the Basement, Bird's Basement in Melbourne, which is a pretty big jazz club. So she's played at some really cool venues, and she is world class. She's absolutely outstanding. I'm slightly biased, but I do think she is outstanding. So if you get a chance, she does have an EP. Go out there and have a listen to the EP. I don't think you'll be disappointed. She's got a fantastic voice. Anyway,
I'm just looking up her discography on Spotify, and yeah, it's mainly singles on Spotify. So I don't know if she's got other EPs elsewhere.
Yeah, there is an EP, and I think there's
Nice.
4 or 5 on the EP. So I could probably drop the YouTube playlist link, I think, because it's public, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, cut to the chase.
Awesome.
I had a chat with Rita at the end of her set, and she's very, very happy to come on the show and promote her album when it is released later this year.
Awesome. Oh, that'd be a great get, that one.
It will be, and it'll be a very exciting time because yeah, she is extraordinary. I actually believe she is extraordinary. It was a fantastic night when we were there a couple of weeks ago. She absolutely is world class, and yeah, it's just effortless how she sings. So yeah, so that'll be a fantastic get for the new Blurt. And we look forward to it because we've been trying to do this sort of stuff ever since we started this segment. So it's nice that we're going to be able to get a chance.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah, so that should be good. Should be good. And something else I was thinking about the other day as well is we should probably follow up with Good Edie. I know that's Green There Done That segment, but we're not too far away from that, so I thought I'd just mention it while we're there.
True.
But anyway, so I think it is time for Green There Done That. So here we go.
Nice.
But these fires are certainly not a function of climate change, they're just a function of life in Australia.
Why would a scientist want to change people's vote? I mean, this is you saw the spin over the past week as they drip-fed.
The poll that came out last month, which counted 1 in 4 Americans, is skeptical of all the effects of climate change and thinks this issue's been exaggerated.
It's cold.
You're listening to Green There Done That on the new Blurt with Wency and the Kegster.
You are indeed. I believe, Wency, you have some El Niño news to talk to us about.
Sí, señor. I have El Niño on board here.
You said that so beautifully. That was beautifully said. I could not say it that well. I'm terrible. Any sort of Spanish accent, I'm shocking. I can't do a Spanish accent.
Mine is definitely not a Spanish accent. It's an Aussie accent that just happens to sound Spanish. Sorry, that speaks Spanish.
It sounds Spanish if you're not Spanish.
Exactly right. So yes, El Niño. There are some climate models going around recently where they're predicting a super El Niño coming to a country near you later in the year. Yeah, so it's the Super El Niño's marked.
Should we be rolling out the red carpet for that, or should we be battling down the hatches? Which way should
I think battling down the hatches with some big brick walls or something to stop the water, torrential water coming in. Yeah, so yeah, just be careful. Keep an eye on the bomb.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so when a Super El Nino comes around, it's usually marked by very high temperatures, especially around the equator. And the last extreme El Nino happened in 2016. So what's that, 7 years ago? Back then, it pushed global temperatures to the highest on record. Not helped by the fact we've got climate change happening as well, so not good. What else have I got here? Just lost my page. Here we go.
So what actually is El Nino? Or is it El Nino or El Nino? Like, where does the phrase come from? How did they name it? What's the history, and how damaging is it to us?
So El Nino...
El Niño. What's the difference?
So it's El Niño or La Niña. So
La Niña. Got it.
Yeah. So El being the masculine form of the, La being feminine.
Yeah. So what we're saying, one's a male weather event and one's a female weather event.
Yeah. So they basically flip over. So on one part of the Pacific Ocean, it'll be wet, and on the other side it'll be dry, and then vice versa for the other one. So it came about because usually around Christmas time, which is I think they call it Niño, something to do with children, and festivities of Christmas is what they use in Latin America, I think. Not very familiar with it because I haven't really looked into that or remember that myself. But because it's it's probably to do with the nativity scene, because it's got the little baby boy, so they called it El Nino. That's my guess.
Right. So which one blows? Which one blows?
That I don't know.
The male event or the
Not too sure.
Right. Okay.
But yes, so
Continue.
It started in. Yeah, so because it's hot on one side, I'm pretty sure that was the El Nino when it's hot on the South American side.
I know La Niña was when because La Niña is what we just had last year, wasn't it? With lots of
that we've had in the last couple of years, so it's wetter on our side.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So because it's wet on our side, it's hotter on the South American side. So they've had bushfires the last few seasons.
Right. Yes, they have.
Whereas we haven't really had that many bushfires the last 2 years.
Wash your mouth out. Don't say that on this program. Not that I'm superstitious in any way. Yeah.
And so with El Nino, we've got the rains. So La Nina, we've got the rains, and South America's got the hotter weather. And then when it's El Nino, we get the hot weather. That's when we get our droughts, and then they get the wet seasons a lot wetter.
Okay. And so what are they forecasting is actually going to happen with El Nino? What's what are we expecting? I imagine it's going to hit us in summer in particular. But
exactly. So that's why they're predicting towards the end of the year. It's not completely reliable, but it's just a prediction, obviously. But we'll obviously get the hotter temperatures, so hopefully it won't come to pass. But we'll probably hit mid 40s on a more regular basis in some parts of the country. It'll be drier. We'll get droughts. The question is, will it last several years, or will it be just the one event, and then hopefully next year it'll fizzle out and just be less intense? It's very hard to predict. these things until it starts hitting, and then they can see the patterns.
New Zealand has basically just been following our weather pattern pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So that would mean it's going to be dry for them as well then, I assume.
Yeah, because it's all part of that Pacific Ocean. So if you're on the west side of the Pacific, where we are, then New Zealand, Australia. I don't think Japan gets it because they're on the wrong side of the hemisphere. So for us on the southern side, we'll get the heat this coming year. So yeah, prepare yourselves for a hotter summer this year.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely haven't had one for. I mean, I'm always hearing people sort of whinge. They want a hotter summer. So I imagine it's not going to whinge this year. I personally, myself, have been very happy with not having too much heat and not having bushfires. I can handle that. That's
the last three extreme. Sorry, a bit laggy here at the moment. The last three extreme El Niños we had were in 1982 to 1983, 97 to 98, and 2015 to 16. So they usually last 2 summers by the looks of it.
Yeah. That's very right too. I remember that very well. Oh well, look, we'll have to just watch this space, unfortunately. But but I've got some good news. So
excellent. We always got good news.
Something to absolutely. Let's land on a good thing. So in case you've never seen one, this is a beaver.
Oh, so cute. Let me get rid of Sleepy Joe. There we go. They are cute.
They are, and they're very big too. They're bigger than they look there. The male, I believe, is a bit, I think quite a bit bigger than the female, I believe. But why are we talking about beavers?
Yeah, and the climate.
In our climate change segment, green there, done that segment. Well, when that actually goes away, I will tell you why. Because scientists are realizing that beavers can help combat climate change and droughts because they build dams to create pools of water, and that keeps them cool and hydrated. But the other beautiful thing about that is because it keeps them cool and hydrated, it also keeps all of the understory around the plants and the trees and the forests and all the rest of it. It keeps that hydrated as well. It keeps the soil hydrated. So the water from the beaver pond seeps into the soil and, as I said, keeps all the plants hydrated, especially during droughts. Now, just a digression here. People always talk about what is the problem with cutting down old growth forests, and then as long as you're replacing them with another forest of the species that you've just cut down. Well, the problem is that young growth forests require a hell of a lot more water and a hell of a lot more sustenance just to get them going. So during a drought, there's a better than average chance that they're going to suck up everything they have. And so anything around will not have any water. And that goes with the animals, etc., when they're trying to find a bit of water somewhere when we have drought conditions.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
In an old growth forest, because these things are already grown, they don't need the water. And so they can store it around their root systems, and they can store it all around their understory and in the forest itself and back into the soil. And that's why it's so important that we do not cut down our old growth forests.
Exactly.
And not only that, we don't need to. So, it's ridiculous. Why we're doing it, I don't know. But
look at the Amazon. Look at how they're fucking that up. Excuse my language.
No, go for it. No, absolutely. They
It's
are,
just
absolutely.
disgraceful what they do there.
Yeah, well, what's his name? Bolsonaro completely fucked that up, as you so beautifully said, because he had deals with farmers in those areas and was wiping out, as you say, parts of the Amazon. And if people aren't aware, the Amazon is like a carbon bank. And when it had so much forest in there, all the CO2 is getting sucked into that forest throughout the world. But now there's like only 30% of that left.
Yeah.
So I know they're madly trying to replant and recreate, but as of what I just said, it's going to take a while and it's going to take resources. So, but anyway, beavers can essentially act as little gardeners, maintaining greenery and creating habitats. Emily Fairfax conducted a study that found that areas with beaver ponds were more fire resistant. So
excellent.
That's the other thing.
Because of all the water, I guess. And...
Absolutely, absolutely. So that going back to what I was just saying before about the forest. So an old growth forest, because it's already an old growth forest, it already has heaps of water going up and down the trunk. That's how it gets fed, and that's sort of how it works. And then it's also got its understory and all around that actually has hydration. The difference between that and a young forest growing is that all it's doing is growing these leaves and trying to grow as fast as it can. And so everything should just burn. And there's so much fuel to burn as well. So so they're really dangerous. That's the other thing. They're really dangerous for fires. So anyway, the wet dirt and leaves around beaver ponds create a fireproof zone, and beaver bubbles can protect nearby wildlife from wildfires.
Excellent.
Which
win-win.
Which is absolutely. So I was thinking when I was researching this, I was thinking that how could we get beavers into Australia? Like, what would be a good habitat for them? What could they live in? Because I don't know. I'm not sure what they need. I mean, I know what they need, but like weather-wise, I don't know, because it's not like they're a platypus or anything. So don't know. But anyway,
my worry about introduced species, as we know, are things like cane toads. You just don't know until they come in what they could do that would destroy our habitat. So
yeah, that's 100% true. I mean, beavers have been in the US for a long time. And the other thing I was going to say is a book I'm about to start, which I can't wait, and we've talked about this before. It's called Wilding, and you talked about it a while ago, which was all about bringing back like paddocks of farmland, whatever, to the sort of wild originality they were at the start when they had like deer running around or beavers or whatever it was. But in England years ago, they did have beavers.
So they're all wiped out now.
Yeah, they don't have beavers in England in the wild. But the same as everything, and everything I'm reading and everything I'm watching and researching and all the rest of it, it just shows that if you build the habitat and you build the environment for animals to live in, you can bring back almost extinct species. It's amazing what we can do, and we should do.
Yeah.
Because we've only got one planet and we owe it to everything on it to do everything we can to save the damn thing. So anyway, beavers have been found to benefit ecosystems in many ways, including reducing stream erosion, providing habitats for other animals. They've also been used in urban areas to reduce flooding and improve the water quality. Organisations are working to find solutions to these conflicts and promote coexistence with beavers. That's talking about the property damage that they can do, and then leading conflicts with, guess who? Humans. So the benefits of beavers are becoming more widely recognised and accepted, leading to increased conservation efforts. And they play a significant role in mitigating the effects of climate change and restoring the ecosystem, as I've obviously laid out here. But I just find it just absolutely incredible that an animal like that is, and I think as you go through our amazing fauna of the world, you just realise how much importance every single one of them has.
Yeah, they all play a role, don't they?
They do to the ecosystem. It's phenomenal. I mean, I know I've been in the I've been on the camp of wasps. Why do we have wasps? You know, I've been on that camp for a long time. But the more and more I get stuck into the garden, the more and more I'm out there, and the more and more I sort of research and understand ecosystems better, I realize that they're not just there to sting us or anything like that. They're actually there as pollinators as well. And I still can't find a use for mosquitoes, though. That I'm baffled. I'm not.
They would be good for dragonflies because dragonflies eat the larvae of mosquitoes. So it's a food source.
Well, we need a shitload of those dragonflies in our backyard.
We do, don't we? Yeah, especially up here in Queensland where we need them.
Mind you, though, it'd be a bit like you're back in dinosaur days with massive dragonflies just flying past your head. I mean, I hate mossies, don't get me wrong, but gee whiz, I don't know if I want, 10 dragonflies flying past my head all the time.
Yeah, I have seen mosquitoes here almost an inch in size.
No.
Yeah, seriously.
You are kidding.
I'll have to take some photos, but I have seen them around, and yeah, they're literally about an inch.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Well, I'm going to talk about better things. Despite the benefits of beavers, there's still challenges to their conservation. Beavers can be seen as a nuisance, as I was just saying before, and they're hunted and trapped, and they hunt them for their tails. Why wouldn't they? Climate change and droughts has also threatened beaver populations. The restoration of beaver populations can be expensive, time-consuming. Sounds like it's worth it, though. Organisations are working to address these challenges through research and education. The restoration of beaver populations can have a significant impact on ecosystems, climate change, mitigation. And as Elaine would say in Seinfeld, yada, 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 yada.
Speaking of beavers, before we end the topic, I was watching a video on YouTube that one of my kids showed us a few weeks ago, where the American lady was talking about a beaver that she rescued. It was a baby one, so it hardly lived in the wild. My parents had died, so she was bringing it up at home. But instinctively, that little baby beaver started getting things that look like sticks from around the house, and then started building a dam, like a wall, at one of the doors. And it's just, you could see in the videos, like getting a stick, moving it over, getting another one from somewhere else, and just kept doing it. It's just so instinctive. It's amazing.
That's beautiful. It is. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. And I'll make sure that the articles in the show notes, as we always do. I think there's a little video that goes with this as well. So if I can't find it, I'll put it in the show notes as well. It's worth having a look at. Beavers in their natural habitat, going about what they do, and yeah, it's really cool to watch. So yeah, so if I can round that up, I will, and we'll get that done. So yeah, so that's your lot, people, tonight. Now, one thing we have said on this show before is if you've got any questions, just to write to us at blurtstar@gmail.com or get in touch with us at absolutely at Twitter, Blurt New, absolutely Spoutable, and we're on Instagram. But more than that, if you were listening to this program, and we know that we've got a couple of hundred listeners, and we know that we've had about 7,000 downloads, so people are listening to this show. Get other people to listen as well. But more than that, if you have a question, a specific question, and you have a idea of something that you would particularly like us to cover that we are not covering, please write in. Please do contact us.
Exactly. Well said. Well said.
And we will do everything we can to accommodate, and we will answer it on the show. The other thing is, please write and review in, is it Spotify?
Yeah, Spotify allows reviews. Or if you subscribe to our Substack, there are areas there to leave comments and or reviews.
Oh, that would be really cool as well. Yes. So if you do download the show, that'd be excellent. If you could comment on the Substack page, we'll be doing more and more in the Substack as days come on. As the months go on, and there'll be a bit more content to read in there. So do that. Fantastic. Thank you very much for your company as always, Wency. Absolute pleasure.
It's been fun as
it
always.
Has been awesome.
Ida
Good
Hobbit.
night, people. Ida Hobbit.
Bye.